Hello. Sold these Topre keycaps. This one. How's everyone doing? Buying Christmas gifts, I hope. Get that done, out of the way. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Is there a control key being held down? So that's what's happening. Yeah, what's going on? That's not good. Just roll with the punches, you know. Alright, let's do that. So if you guys remember, we had the RC1 just totally dissected. Here are some of their domes. They had to reinvent the wheel for some reason. Well, we're going to test them while I have them out before I reassemble the thing. So allow me a second. Okay. Well, I really don't feel like going through a whole bunch of domes and testing them right now for no reason. We have the thing apart because it's got a built-in keylogger that you can't turn off. I called Topre and I essentially set their office on fire. And engineering had the week off, so hopefully we'll have a fix soon, like an official patch or firmware update. But the whole support team was like on the phone with me. And they didn't even know what keyboard I was talking about. It's not even in their system. Like, how do you not have this thing? What a fucking shit show. But they agreed. The fact that it logs your keystrokes is a little more than concerning. Fucking hell. Well, I guess all I really wanted to do was go on record and say that we've got a fix coming for the RC1. It sounds like through the means of an official RealForce patch or firmware update. But the team that can do that is on vacation, so hopefully I'll hear back next week. But I've got a direct line to them, and they opened up a ticket and had the whole, you know, they got the managers from the service team on the phones, and it's too loud. But in any case, I am still putting off that RC1 review until I can go out there and say this thing doesn't have a keylogger in there, because that is just, I mean, you can't make a review on a keyboard that's spying on you, right? At least not without trying to fix it. And they seem to be receptive, which is kind of surprising for tech support. I was not really anticipating even to get through to them, but that's where the things stand with the RC1. It's still an enigma. I mean, I don't like how it's sort of, it feels like a cheaper version of a Happy Hacking Keyboard shell. But I mean, it types okay. Like I said, I'm going through the motions to get a full review out there, but the fact that it logs your keystrokes out of the box, and will never ever you'll never even know that it's storing your keystrokes because it's got a battery hooked up to it. There's no battery on the PCB to store the, like if you open it up and pull the lithium ion battery plug out, it'll reset the keystroke data. But because it's integrated and it's charging when you plug it in, and it's a feature that you don't enable, it's always on. Like, for example, you get an RC1 in and you type blissfully, you know, hook it up to Bluetooth, whatever. And then, I'll give you my experience. I then installed the software that they made for it, because I'm trying to do a full review, obviously. I need to kind of figure out all the features. And there's a heat map of my keystrokes, and it's stored everything that I've typed on it since, like, I got it without opening up the software, no nothing, you know. So it's storing your keystrokes whether you want it to or not, and it doesn't tell you it's doing it. There's no way to erase it unless you knew. You know, you could be blissfully unaware. Who knows? They couldn't even tell me how the data's stored on it. But the fact that it's enabled by default, and you cannot disable it. Even in software, you can reset the data, but you cannot disable it. So until we figure out this horse shit, I can't really review the damn keyboard, because it's essentially a spy. Buy this keylogger. It feels great. What are they doing? What are they? Who ever thought putting a keylogger, a built-in always-on keylogger into someone's keyboard without telling them was a good idea? Even if you're doing it like in a way that you can't retrieve data, people don't know that. That is the most sus thing ever. Realforce makes the PFU makes the worst decisions when it comes to keyboards. They have essentially ruined everything that they've done since 2018. Every single thing that they have done has been worse than the keyboard lineup that they started in 2004. Every single thing. Started with the art. It started with the Happy Acting Keyboard Bluetooth. The fuck was that? It was a gigantic pile of horse shit. And they fucking went real quick to replace that gigantic hunk of junk. And they came out with the hybrid, with the gigantic battery tray on the back. Whoop-de-doo. $310 for that thing, by the way. And then you ask them, why does it not have a lithium-ion battery? And they'll lie to your face. They'll say, oh, it's because it's for longevity. And then they'll come out with another keyboard with a lithium-ion battery built into it next to a daughter board that has a heat sink on it. So they're isolating the lithium-ion battery with like porous foam so it doesn't overheat and blow the fuck up. What are you guys doing? Is it for longevity? No. I mean, think about it. You put AA batteries in something and you open up. A couple years, if you forget about those fucking AA batteries, longevity my ass, fucking battery acid. It's the opposite of longevity. And then just lie. I mean, this guy from PFU, he's like the director of whatever, twice now has gone on and like publicly and just talked about products and had people asking questions, and he just does not give a flying fuck about what anyone has to say, and no lie to your face, so it's for longevity. Bitch, please. I just did the math on your battery. 1 month of continuous use, 300 charges. Let me say that again. 1 month full of charge times 300. That's the longevity of the lithium-ion battery he was trying to avoid by installing AA batteries in the Happy Acting keyboard and charging you $210 for it, $310 for it because everyone's a sucker and they'll pay for it. Okay, whatever, bro. Why did you install Keylogger on my fucking keyboard? You put effort into that. Horrible decision. You put effort into that. Why? The fucking idiots. So I call over there to PFU. I didn't even expect to get through. And they are like, oh shit. They get the manager on the line. They get another person over. I'm on the phone with them for an hour, giving them all the details. They don't even have the keyboard, the RC1, in their fucking system. They don't even know about it. They're like, what keyboard is it? I'm like, it's the RC1. They're like, what? Send me photos. And I said, I'm concerned about the heat map keylogger. And it's like silence. And he goes, okay, so I'm going to open up a ticket and I'm going to elevate it to urgent. And then the manager came over and they're like frantically talking in the background. They're like, what are we... And he's like, okay, well, he's like, I know exactly the guy I need to talk to, but they're on vacation. He's like, don't worry. I was like, we will get back to you. If you don't hear from us, just, here's my number. Here's this guy's number. Call us. So just like, follow up. We'll get it done. Okay. I was very impressed. I'm very taken back, though. I had no idea. I didn't even expect them to take my issue seriously, even if I got through to them. But they had an oh shit panic moment. And they hit the fucking panic button and started running around like the place was on fire, but they had no one to answer their questions on how to address this. Like I said, they didn't even have the keyboard in the system. That's how put together they are. And then the people that made this keyboard, that they decided to put a fucking keylogger in the most complex daughter board of all time and then isolate a lithium-ion battery from it because it could possibly overheat, after lying to me that AA batteries are the reason... Because longevity, making excuses for the AA batteries, and it's like your whole company. I don't like it, dude. Stop lying. You're the director of PFU. Stop asking us. Stop telling us to ask you questions if you're not going to take them seriously. He is the most disrespectful person when it comes to questions. Like questions like, will we get different colored caps? Will we get high pro keycaps? And he's like, he does like he doesn't speak English well at all. It's so hard to understand him. It is impossible to understand him. I don't know why they insist on coming on to doing these interviews. You don't understand what the fuck he's saying. I'm sorry. And then Huey is trying to... Dude, I don't like Huey. Whatever. You know, he's got like a holier-than-thou attitude. But I kind of feel for him when he's put in the situation of asking this guy the questions, because his responses are so disrespectful sometimes. The first time was the 25th anniversary, and Huey was going around, or Man of Interest. Huey was going around telling everyone they're gonna show us the Happy Hacking Keyboard HG. Be sure to be there. Going around everywhere, like. So if the interview is finally over, and he's like, "So how about that Happy Hacking Keyboard HG?" And he like does this weird, awkward. It's like, you know, Kamala Harris does the Joker laugh when she gets nervous. Well, it's like you know, people have like a nervous tick. Well, his nervous tick is to kind of mumble and smile and smirk and kind of look away. It's really kind of his mannerisms are such that he's trying to hide his contempt for us. Feels what it seems like. It's like, just give us what we want, dude. Just like make different color keycap sets, you know, and make an integrated battery for the Happy Hacking keyboard. You know, why don't give us an MX one with, or if you're gonna make a Happy Hacking keyboard studio, why is it MX? I mean, the features are nice, I guess. Have a built-in mouse. Honestly, I cannot get used to that thing. I've tried. It is impossible it is impossible for me to use that nipple to move the mouse cursor around. I've tried everything. It is fucking useless. Fuck, you know, so it's like, whatever, you're gonna try to put these new features on. It should have been a fucking Topre board, you know. And then they try to address, they are still trying to hit gamers with their GX1. If I was just a gamer kid, whatever, right, trying to find like a gaming keyboard, okay, let's just do like basic logic, right? You're a kid, you're looking for a gaming keyboard. It's like there's Razer. I don't know how much do they cost now. Are they in the $200 range, or are they sub 200? Any case, then you see the Topre GX1, and it's the most expensive one. So you probably think most expensive equals better. And then you get the GX1 and you type on it, and you probably go, what the fuck is this? The GX1 is a bastard child, born from the RGB Real Force, where they, over 6 years, had the ability to figure out how if you type on an RGB, it doesn't feel right. It feels like shit. So, how do you fix that? It's like you put like film, switch films, we call them plate gaskets. That completely fixes it. Their housings are snapped into a metal plate. The normal ones are fine. They do benefit from a plate gasket, but the RGB one is only 3 sides, and then they chop off the bottom so the LED can fit, because they have a row of LEDs. So it's only engaged into the plate in 3 spots. It's like on The Simpsons when they were talking about the orphanage, how they're trying to get a 4th wall. 3 is not enough. Yeah, three is not enough. Yeah. So they never figured out that these housings that only engage into 3 out of the 4 corners of or 3 out of the 4 sides of the plate is the reason why it feels so bad. No, instead they decide they're going to go out of their way and reinvent the wheel. They're going to come out with new domes. They're going to come out with, where's the GX1? They're going to introduce micro thin silencing rings that are so useless and petite. And then they're going to make it look all gamery, right? Doesn't have a top thing. And they're going to sell it for $305. They tried selling it for over $300. And they never figured out that all you need to do is just put a pour-on gasket in, and you fix the board. Okay. 6 years of development, actual effort has been put in to try to fix this thing, and they didn't even fix the core issue. So their flagship model, if this is anyone's first introduction to Real Force, is the worst impression you would ever have to Topre. If you bought a GX1 or an RGB and that's the first Topre board you ever typed on, you would swear on your mother's grave that these things are overpriced pieces of shit. No, and you would never go near one again, ever, ever. Straight up. That's their flagship now. They got rid of all of the other Real Forces. They've decided I'm guessing that they're so underwater in like their investment to return because they have eliminated the Real Force division. There is no more Real Force division. It's just PFU now. It's not even under Fujitsu. So what do I mean by that? PFU makes the Happy Acting keyboard, and then there was another division under PFU. It's like PFU, Topre Corporation, and then a Real Force Corporation. I think both of them are underneath the PFU umbrella, but the Real Force could be under Topre. I'm not quite sure. In any case, PFU, not Topre Corporation, not Real Force Corporation, but PFU themselves makes the Happy Acting keyboard. And then they label it Topre Corporation. Then they have the Real Force division. The difference between the two is that PFU would, if they made their keyboards, they would lubricate them. So they actually had a PFU version of the Real Force that came lubricated. So what happened? Well, Real Force has been putting out products that no one wants. The R3, no one wants. The GX1, and absolutely no one has a GX1. I don't know anyone with a GX1. And they've been out for like 2 years. And that's the only Real Force that they're pushing. And they're still pushing it. These are coming out in December or January. Two new versions of some keyboard that's a piece of shit. So what happened? Well, financial decisions took over, and the next Real Force that they came out with isn't a Real Force at all. I mean, it's Real Force by name only. This is 100% made and designed by PFU. It's just a Happy Acting keyboard. And they keep in the Real Force name, but it's a Happy Acting keyboard. This is the best product they've released in a while, but there's a lot of issues with it. Namely the fact that it's got that built-in keylogger. That's not kosher. That's not bueno. I can't make a review in good faith until they've addressed that. So they said after the holiday, I'll hear from them. But you release a bunch of shit products and eventually pay for it. There will be no more Real Forces as you guys know them. They're gonzo. They're totally gone. I mean, it's such a fucking shame. They should have just. They should have never ever. They're reinventing the wheel all the time. I don't know why. If you want to put your effort somewhere, put it where it matters. Like, this has a brand new 45-gram dome. What are you guys doing? This has a built-in keylogger that's always on that you would never know. Why and what are you doing? You can't turn it off. You wouldn't even know that it's on there. So, I mean, if PFU wants to, like, inherit real force and just continue making bad decisions, I guess I kind of fear for the future of what Topre is going to be putting out. I guess their bread and butter, the Happy Icon keyboard, will sell no matter what. I don't know why. Once they made the hybrid, I hard noped out of liking the Happy Icon keyboard. I despise that battery tray, and I'm the only one who's ever negative about anything. So, you know, it's like the whole community just accepts the fact that they've signed up to not receive anything good, and don't complain. Well, I like to complain. I like to complain when things are absolute shit and when people put out shit. I mean, I don't like it. It actually, like, makes me physically, like, upset. And when I'm done with the stream, I feel like you know, it's like, why do I even bother? I'm only addressing only negative issues. I'm only ever complaining. There's nothing in this Topre sphere that's worth reviewing. It's like I come out with a negative opinion on pretty much everything. I try to be open about. I mean, I actually had a strong positive opinion about this board until I realized it's so cheap. They do not want you to open this thing up. All 4 screws are underneath the rubber feet. So now, so you can't reattach the rubber feet after you open it up. Thank you guys. And then it feels like you're going to break the plastic shell the whole time because there's a clip right here that you have to find with a shim. And then you open it up and you're like, why is it so cheap? Why does the daughter board PCB plug directly? It plugs directly into this. So the daughter board will sit in here, and then it plugs in. It plugs in, but there's nothing to cushion the space where it can flex. So, right, so this is, imagine this thing being installed, right? Come on, it doesn't want to focus. Whatever. So every time you type, it's doing this. You understand what I'm talking about now? Because if you just press it, it's not flush. This is flush. So really, this will flex into the connector. Why? Just put a little piece of, just put anything there. Anything. Put the connector in the middle. Like anything. Anything except for what you did. Look at this. Sorry. Damn, I didn't see it. I didn't see what you said. Timestamp from the last stream? I don't know. I just hopped on because I was cleaning things up. What's funny is that that RC1 fixed itself. The free roaming slider issue's fixed. So funny. I mean, there's potentially a lot of good there. I can't until we figure out how to remove that built-in keylogger. I have nothing but negativity to say. I mean, I'm kind of furious, to be honest. At first, I didn't know what to make of it, but then when I realized how seriously they were taking it, I think that there's sort of potentially some laws being broken. I'm not sure. It's the most sus thing. It's the most suspicious thing ever. A keylogger. Always on. Never known about it. With the only apparent purpose to display a heat map that you can only access by opening up the software. Shouldn't that feature not be turned on and maybe be toggleable in the software? Maybe that's where they should put that thing, right? Because I don't think anyone in their right mind would trust a built-in keylogger on their keyboard. And never, let alone innately. I cannot articulate how much I hate the incompetency of this entire hobby. From top down. I mean, Real Force is just full of just bad decisions. I have nothing nice to say about any of the new boards. Nothing. The R3's junk. The GX1 gaming thing, hunk of junk. Biggest hunk of junk ever. I can't believe they're still making it and selling like weeb versions that are being flipped for $600. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Blatantly lying about certain things in the past only to be caught in an extremely hypocritical situation when they do exactly when they give a certain reason for why they don't use lithium-ion batteries, and then they immediately turn around and release a keyboard with a lithium-ion battery. Don't lie to my face. And it happens to be the director of PFU. That's so... No wonder. No wonder. He doesn't give a fuck about anyone in the community. He doesn't even... I think he's got such blinders on. He has zero clue what people want. It's like he made one keyboard, the Happy Hacking keyboard, and the R3 is junk because... The R3 is a hunk of junk because it replaced a keyboard, the R2s. No, didn't need to. It is objectively ugly for no reason. This whole top thing right here, there is nothing here. There's nothing under here at all. The only reason that this entire big bezel is here is so that they can put the power button on the top. It's got AA batteries instead of rechargeable lithium ions. It's got center print legends that are ugly as hell. Oh wait, this is the Mac one. But the new Happy Acting keyboards have these same center print legends. Why? I mean, this thing also has a built-in keylogger. As long as you have batteries in here, this thing will store your keylog. It's a fucking keylogger. As long as it's got power, it will store your typing information until you remove the batteries or go into software and say reset. But it's not something that you enable. It's always on. You can't disable it. It's always on. So this thing, it's objectively ugly. The whole reason for the R2 was to bring in a mod, like, okay, so they had Real Force from 2004 to 2018. Then they came out with the R2, which just, all it did was it got rid of the big bezel and it kind of like streamlined the look. That's all they did. So then they decided, I guess, that they wanted to add Bluetooth, but then they also fucked around with the looks. They brought back, instead of like a big bezel like normal, they met us halfway in the middle with like this awkward double-sized bezel. Again, it serves no purpose at all except to how the only thing that's here is a metal plate that holds the button, and it like juts out right here. This whole top bezel can go away. The fact that they have this thing here, it's a plastic top plate that snaps in place. I mean, they were trying. Look how it's assembled. These screws hold down this hot plate. It's just poorly designed. Overpriced piece of shit. I don't know a single person, except for like, I don't know, first time Topre users who want a Bluetooth that's not a Happy Acting keyboard, that like these. These things have been out for... The thing is okay, I can tell how many boards are in the community because I build them. I've built 200 keyboards. I've built one of these, and these have been out for almost 2 or 3 years now. I've never built a GX1 for anyone. Lots of Happy Acting keyboards, lots of 87Us, lots of R2s, lots of custom builds. Nothing. I have not. Only one person I've built an R3 for. When these were available, I was building a lot of FC660Cs, but it appears that Leopold has stopped. Which is kind of weird because they build the real forces in Korea. Okay, well, I don't know where you got that opinion, but if you read the manual about the rechargeable battery, it says this about this rechargeable battery. Okay? This little tiny rechargeable battery has 1 month continuous use, and it can be recharged 300 times. You do the math. I don't know any device that I have that's, I mean, aside from the devices that I've removed AA batteries from, everything from like Xbox controllers to video remotes all have battery acid in there. All of them. You're gonna tell me that it's better for longevity's sake to have a AA batteries than a lithium ion? That's absolute horseshit. These things last for 15 years, according to them. According to them. You want to... I mean, I've got mag lights that I use continuously, and one of them just exploded. It's totally unusable now. You know, and it's not like I just left the batteries in there. No. I totally for you maybe having AA batteries is convenient, but I don't think that if you were to take a sample size of anyone using a board over a certain amount of time, that a lithium ion would be shorter lived than AA batteries, because most people, I mean, you're going to run into a battery that blows up, and then once it blows up, your keyboard's fucked. I hear that all the time. And that's what the guy from PFU said. The director of PFU said that about why he had a conference, and he let people ask questions, and I don't know why, because his demeanor towards us is just utter fucking smugness and contempt. Oh, even over the simplest things. So I asked a few questions. We can bring up the stream if we want to. I recorded it, but I don't really want to. I'll just tell you. I asked, why aren't there AA batteries? I mean, why isn't there lithium ion, and why are there AA batteries? And he gave the exact reason that you said, longevity. And, you know, I didn't know what to make of that. I kind of had a hunch. You know, I'm at the time I was still thinking, I'm like, you know, most of the stuff that I have that's got AA batteries, eventually the batteries ruin it over time. You know, I don't know what to make of his assertion that a lithium-ion battery doesn't last as long at the time. I suspected it was horseshit, but then they come out, the director who said to my face why the Happy Hacking Studio has AA batteries for longevity, turns around and releases a new real force. It's not a real force, there is no more real force division. I don't know that for a fact, but I know that this is made by PFU, and it's a Happy Hacking keyboard. They just threw the real force badge on it because it's not a Happy Hacking keyboard. It's 75%, but it's like, whatever. The same guy who said that the AA batteries in the $350 Happy Hacking Keyboard Studio was deliberately chosen for longevity, only for him to turn around and release the next product with a lithium-ion battery, and in the manual it says 1 month, 300 charges. So when the director of the company is lying to your face, no wonder they don't give us what we want. No wonder no one's buying these new real forces. No wonder they had to get rid of the real force division completely. They totally restructured. And if you guys didn't notice, they didn't announce it or anything. They totally got rid of the Fujitsu USA thing, which I imagine is the real force division in the USA. Gonzo. I am totally gatekeeping my contacts, so I will not tell you how to get a hold of them. But no more real force division at all. It's just PFU. I mean, they killed it. They fucking killed a legendary keyboard brand because they don't understand what people want. People like their keyboards because they look old school and they feel nice. That's it. Every single decision they've made has been a negative one. Every single one. So, you know, the R2s are nice. People like the R1s better though. They should have taken an objective look at that before having gone down through any sort of more modifications. No, they're still making these. These are coming out in I don't know. I don't know if, I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna continue making the R3, but the only way you can buy, you can't buy it direct from them anymore. You can only buy it from Mechanical Keyboards in the USA. You used to be able to buy direct. Like you buy the Happy Acting keyboards direct from them through the PFUs website. But you can only buy their real forces through mechanicalkeyboards.com. If I had to guess, Fujitsu Scanner was their American division, and they were probably assembling the keyboards in the United States and not in Japan and then importing them. But in any case, they totally got rid of their I don't know. See, I don't know how they structure it and why they structure it the way they structure it. But the people who make the Realforce keyboards did not make the newest Realforce. The people who make the Realforce keyboards no longer have a US portal. You have to buy from Mechanical Keyboards. Everything to me says that they are done. Like, Realforce has made so many mistakes that they have like gotten rid of whatever divisions that were responsible for making them, and they absorbed them under PFU. I can't think of any other reason why they would release this as what it is. This is 100% designed and made by the people who did the Happy Acting keyboard. This has no hallmarks of anything that Realforce has ever made. What this reminds me of the most is Happy Acting keyboard Bluetooth, which was a short-lived piece of shit. Just the design, like it was like how do I describe it? They didn't think about how to put the components in the board at all. And it was, so if you open up an old Happy Acting keyboard, there's nothing cheap about it. It's two plastic shells held together, but high quality. There's a ribbon cable that connects the daughter board to the main board, and it's a solid connection. High quality. And then they came out with the Bluetooth in between the hybrid and the old ones. And you open it up and there's like tiny little ribbons holding the things together, and there's a daughter board slapped onto the underside of it, and there's like it reminded me of like a car engine, where if you wanted to remove one thing, it's like you have to remove the stack of other stuff. And it was like there was no thought at all put into it. And this is this has the exact same feel as that, where this daughter board, first of all, I have no idea why this thing is as complicated as it is. First of all, it plugs in, okay, but there's a gap, so when you're typing on a plastic thing, I'm guessing it's flexing. I have no idea why. There's no foam or anything, so they're just cramming it in there, and then it sits. So essentially, let's use some technical terms. This is tray mounted, but the PCB is top mounted in an integrated plate, and they're connected by a stiff connector that's on one side, so a torque force is applied to it anytime it flexes. That is not well thought out at all. Then they put a fucking heat sink on it. And then they added like this porous foam around the battery. My guess is their concern is that this overly complicated daughter board, which I have no idea why it's so complicated. I've never seen anything like this. Like, I have more functionality in my PCBs in the main PCB and just a simple daughter board that breaks out to a USB-C. But no, this thing's got to be SimCity 3000. Makes no sense. It's so sus. I don't understand it. It's got so many different connections, so many plugs. It's got a mystery fucking button on it. It's got screws that they don't utilize, and they mark them as such, but yet there's a post for them, and there's still threads. It's like it's a total fucking mystery. And then they slap the power on button, like they're just stuffing things in there, so that the power on button kind of sandwiches the PCB up against this assembly, and then the button that actuates this, the only tactile feedback that you're going to get is this little foam pour-on pad that they put there. It's like, you know how a button might have a spring to kind of, you know, push the button back? All it has is just a little pour-on pad. I mean, if only they could have consulted a company that knew how to make buttons and switches. Oh wait, just the biggest hunk of junk ever. It's just and it like sandwiches on top of the fucking PCB. They've got mystery things. They've got a keylogger built into it that's always on, that lit a fire under their ass when I called them and told them. So I mean, they're not freaking out, but they can't do anything about it until the engineering team gets back. But it's not a non-issue. I think there was a moment of realization where this guy said, "Oh fuck," in his head. Do you know if the hybrid has a keylogger? No, it does not have a keylogger. The only thing that does is the R3 and the RC1. Sounds like we're going to get an official patch, though. Either that or an official lawsuit. It seems that serious. Yeah. And during that conference last year about their MX studio, they lied straight to my fucking face about why they're using AA batteries. Because then they came out with one with a lithium-ion battery, and their excuse about longevity, in their own paperwork, it says the lifetime of this 720 milliamp hours. Is that how it reads? This little tiny lithium-ion battery, tinier than anything that anyone else would put on their like Pro 2. This thing has a month of full usage, a month of daily full usage is what it says. And it can be recharged 300 times. Okay, so do the math. Longevity, you're worried about the lithium-ion battery going dead in 25 years? It's 25 years. That motherfucker lied straight. The director of PFU lied straight to my fucking face when I asked him, why does your thing have AA batteries? Oh, longevity. Okay, then why does your new product have a 25-year lifespan according to you? According to your manual. Don't lie to me. Everything that I have with AA batteries has goddamn battery acid in it, and it's ruined. I'm thinking like, you know, Xbox 360 controllers I left batteries in, or, you know, remote control I left batteries in, or my mag lights. I use my mag lights all the fucking time, and one of them burst. You know, it's those AA batteries are, I guarantee you, if they did a sample size of longevity, that AA batteries are going to be ruining more boards than you're running out of. 25 years? You can't tell me that you're worried about longevity when you then publish that your lithium-ion battery, that's tiny as fuck, by the way, has a 25-year lifespan. if you use it for a month and recharge it. It says longevity, 300 recharges, and it says from 0 to full. And it says one charge lasts 1 month. And that's if you use it every day. I don't know if, like, you know, if it leaks power. Like, you know, some devices are better than others. Like, for example, I've got 2 switches. One of them, if you leave it in standby mode, the battery will drain pretty quickly. But the switch, like the one that doesn't have the dock, that doesn't have the Joy-Cons, that thing, like, that will last forever in sleep mode. So I don't know if the battery drains on this, but 300 months is 24 years. So no wonder that, I mean, it's no wonder we don't get good stuff. I don't even know why this guy decides to come on every other year and do a conference where he asks questions that he doesn't care, but you can tell he doesn't care. He's horrible at hiding his contempt for us in the questions. And Huey is visibly uncomfortable when he's asking him these questions, like, will you give us high pro keycaps? Because he knows the answer is no. So it's such an awkward experience to watch. Like, I get secondhand embarrassment. And his English is terrible. I don't know how else to say it. His English is terrible. I don't understand what he's saying. He just reads off of a script when he's talking about his studio. I'm sorry, but I don't understand you, man. Get someone else. I mean, I understand you're the director of the company. But if your English is super poor, perhaps get someone else to present your new product to the U.S. audience, and perhaps get someone else to take the questions. Especially if you're going to lie about it. I mean, my bullshit detector went off the first time when he answered with the longevity thing of it. Then when the next product he releases has a lithium-ion battery in it, it's just like, okay, fuck you, dude. Everyone asked some legit questions. If he had taken any of our questions just at face value seriously and implemented them, they wouldn't be dissolving entire divisions of their corporations and restructuring them because they're failing and making so bad and poor decisions. If they took they say, submit your questions and we will answer them. And there's simple things like, are you going to release colored keycap sets? Are you going to have MX compatibility? Are you going to have a lithium-ion battery in your HiPad keyboard? Are you going to have a Topre version of the Studio? Are you going to introduce high pro keycaps back? Are you going to, you know? And all of those questions are treated, okay. Everyone gets visually uncomfortable. They're all on camera, so it's Huey, the man of interest, director of PFU, being asked these questions, who doesn't speak English very well, and everyone's uncomfortable. Huey's uncomfortable at asking the question. I remember he had to preload the high pro question for this guy who was so embarrassed last time. He goes, and once again, it's like, because it's the most asked question, and it's the second year in a row they were doing it. Man of Interest is so visually uncomfortable about asking about high pro keycaps, but he does it anyway. And the director of PFU has like a nervous tick, sort of like Kamala Harris's Joker laugh, where he kind of smiles, and I can't describe it. It's a look of hiding contempt. Like, it's like that is the stupidest question ever kind of reaction that he's trying to hide. But he's not doing a very good job of it. And his answers are broken English, like, no. No. Just no. Will you come out with color keycap sets? No. Will you come out with MX compatibility? No. Will you come out with a Topre MX Studio? No, we don't have plans for that. Oh my God. Will you integrate a lithium-ion battery in your Happy Acting keyboard? No, because longevity. Okay. And then to top it all off, they introduced their products. I'm sure you guys have noticed this. Let me point this out for you again. They released their products at $450 slash $350. That's illegal in a few states, and it's illegal in Germany, and probably a lot of places in the EU. You can't sell something. You can't sell it like that. It was never $450. It was never going to be $450. You released it at $350, marked off from $450. That is some horseshit business practice. Every single board. Go on their fucking website right now. What's worse is that when they released the fucking Studio, they lowered the hybrid Type S price, and they raised the standard hybrid price, and they raised the classic price. But they still left the original price, and so it's still, everything still looks like it's marked down. Nothing on that store has ever been at its original price. It is no one talks about it, no one gets upset about it, no one even, it's like, not, people don't even notice it because it's so common. Well, the only good news is that the Topre support team totally understood and followed along when I explained how I found the keylogger in here. The only problem is that they don't even have this keyboard in their system. They don't have this in their system. It's not in their. This isn't in their system. Support. I was on the phone with support, the manager, and a third guy. They're like, "What keyboard? It's not. Where's the serial number?" I'm like, they're like, "Oh, there should be a part number." I'm like, "There's no part number." I'm like, I see what you're talking about because the hybrid is the part number. This thing isn't even in their fucking system. They didn't even know that this support doesn't even know this keyboard existed. So I call them and I tell them it's got a keylogger in it, and they like. There's a moment of silence, and he says, "Okay, I'm going to open up a ticket and elevate this to urgent, and and get my manager on the phone immediately." I got a ticket in the email. Manager popped on the phone. He's explaining what's going on, and they say, "Okay, well, engineering is all on vacation right now, so we're gonna have to wait until they get back. But we know exactly the guy to talk to." And I'm saying, I'm like, "That's good. You know that there shouldn't be a keylogger on here, and it shouldn't be enabled. If you want to have a keylogger on here, maybe it should be off by default." And they're like, the guy is trying to like be professional, but they're all fucking like, "What the fuck?" Okay, I hit him with they don't even know about this keyboard. They don't even know about this keyboard at all. It's not in their system. And then I hit them with, it has a keylogger on it, and they're like, engineering's on vacation. Engineering's on vacation, but we will get back to you as soon as you get back. We promise. Send us everything that you have. I'm like, I gotta go soon. I'm like, okay. Just, send us like this photo. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to apply for a job there so that all the people on Conical can freak the fuck out about it. And what's good is that you guys will never know. Because I don't want a bunch of crybabies trying to cancel me over nothing. Some OG that I used to talk to all the time, he sold a board to a client of mine, and a client's like name dropped him. Said, "Oh yeah, he's a good guy." I said, "I'm pretty sure he doesn't hate me." Last time he emailed me, he's like, "How are you doing, man? You doing fine?" I'm like, yeah. So, apparently I'm a homophobe in his mind. These people are so fucking crazy, man. Because of the homophobic attack on Norbauer. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry. Just because he's gay doesn't mean my opinion that talking about pornography and sex and in the keyboard world is not. Don't do that. Don't talk about your keyboard business and then your open sex life and go on a porn podcast that it's just like dude. If he was straight, it'd be fine. If he was trans, I'd be a transphobe. If he was black, I'd be racist. It's just like, my only opinion is this: it's a keyboard. It's keyboards. Okay, keep your sex life out of it. Keep just hard. Period. Stop. Full stop. But that's a homophobic attack apparently. So if you ever hear that I'm a homophobe, just know that it's because I didn't want Ryan Norbauer to talk about his sex life on a keyboard podcast. That's all. But it turns out a kid that works for him that is also gay, had recently bought a key set of mine, and then he went on a total rage where he publicly burned the keycap set in effigy and posted the video and left me with $1,800 and said I should use it for my mental health instead of the Arushi keycap sets that he wanted. At the time, I had no idea that who he was or anything like this. My friend comes over and I show him how people are freaking out, and he's got this what? He's like, "What the fuck?" So he goes on Facebook, and I'm not a Facebook sleuth. Finds the guy who rage quit, and his Facebook profile is totally locked down, but his profile is him and his boyfriend, and they look like they're 18, and they're from North Cal. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then someone else told me that he works for Ryan Norbauer. So I put two and two together. Ryan Norbauer says that he's got 2 husbands and they like to practice polygamy. So my best guess is that the guy who started the whole hate train against me is someone who has intercourse with Ryan Norbauer. But that was not disclosed to anyone. Also, the fact that he's 18 is kind of disturbing. And the fact that the trans kid that I called out in my video turned out to be a 15-year-old, someone told me. A 15-year-old. The whole... Just type Ryan Norbauer podcast. It's the only podcast. It's the first podcast. That's why it's an issue to me. Because, if it was buried in 25 of his podcasts and he just happened to do one, it's not the talking of his sex life that I have an issue with. It's the fact that he's made it about keyboards first. Do not, as an influencer, start off a podcast and talk about keyboards, and then I don't want to go into it. He was advocating for polygamy, for polyamory. That's okay, man. I mean, you do you. Honest, I think that's morally wrong. I would never share my, I can't see myself ever sharing my relationship with more than one person. And I think that doing so, essentially, I think that's like cheating. I'm a monogamous person, okay? So when I hear about polygamy and polyamory, I understand that some people practice that. And because I'm a libertarian, I totally am okay with them doing that. But when we have a community that's based on keyboards, you shouldn't be discussing those things. You shouldn't be discussing any sexual topic. And then when the community gets upset about me because I decided that I didn't think that that was appropriate for two reasons. One, just it's keyboards. And two, not everyone on my server is of age. So I made a video. Turns out that one of the biggest outspoken people about this issue, who had some sexual innuendo name, someone DM'd me and he said, that is a 15-year-old. I'm like, I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. No, it's not the podcast about the Sanaka. No, this is like another podcast. It's forget what it's called. But it'd essentially be him going on talking about the Sanaka or whatever, or the stabilizer thing, and then jumping into his sex life. So the community decided they wanted to die on that hill, so there they lay. But they aren't going out without a fight. They're still calling me a homophobe and stuff like this, and it's just like, well, you go ahead and think that. I don't even poke my head up anymore. I just do what I do and just make sure that my clients are happy. I mean, it'd be financially nice if I was like, the source. But if these idiots want to disagree with me so bad that they don't want to buy my stuff, well, let them. I think some of the comments they've made are absolutely disgusting. So, that's, okay. But who are they? They're fucking nobodies. I don't know why they decided to reinvent the wheel here. Look at these. Why did they have to go out and make a new 45-gram dome? It makes no sense. Hopefully the next time you guys see me, I am coming to you with good news about this keyboard and being able to disable the keylogger. I really want to get a full review out there, but a keylogger on a keyboard, that's the review, If I were to make one, there is no review until this keylogger's. It doesn't matter if it's the fucking goat of keyboards having a built-in keylogger that's always enabled, that's always on, that can't be disabled, that they don't tell you about. That means, what are you doing? So I could make a video about how, right, I could come out with a video and just make a video about how this has a keylogger in it and nobody should buy it. But Topre's being responsive, at least support is, and it sounds like we're going to get a fix, like an official fix. But until then, I can't really come out with a full-length review. But if they come out with a firmware patch, I was so shocked that I was even able to get through to them. And then doubly shocked when they were as knowledgeable and responsive as they were. Hey, what's going on, man? I'm just about to wrap things up. I wish they made this. Whoa. Hello. Welcome to the Topre gang. The gang. We're a bunch of dome heads here. We like rubber domes. Rubber dome. Oh, it feels so good. So tactile, so nice. I want a mattress made out of 45-gram domes. Just like be so satisfying. Tactile feedback bed. Holy Moses, man! Long time no see. Thank you. Yeah, I clean up. Oh, I clean up okay. You look back at my old videos, people are like, I give them free ammunition. They're like, look at this degenerate. What do I think of the original BKE V1 domes? Oh, you mean BKE Redux V1? They're shit. Do you mean OG BKE? I don't have enough to... Oh, I don't know what you mean. The BKE Redux you can't get anymore. They're shit. They're so snappy, it's like on off. Thanks man, you too. I got a new Discord up and running. If you want to join. Why does everyone want them so much? I haven't noticed that. Yeah, no, I don't. Nightbot decided to not work. Let me post my Discord link here. Whoops. I'm not able to get an invite link, I don't think. Oh. Let's see. Something's registering a key press that is like fucking with it with my setup. So Show has a case. Man, that guy is so prolific. I don't think he sleeps. I think all he does is design and manufacture Topre cases. I've only ever built one of his cases. It was an SRX, like for the TKL. I mean, it's the only competition is the Norbaforce and the Noxry XRF, but we don't talk about him because he robbed people of money and fled the country, fled the UK. And the UK police were trying to track him down. We know this because they were contacting people who were trying to get a hold of him. And there was someone keeping up with all the details, but that's been over a year. So I think he's fled to like Saudi Arabia or something. I mean, the UAE or something. He's probably in Dubai. I don't know. What an idiot. Imagine ruining your life over $600,000. He probably doesn't even have it still. He had like a Porsche 911 Turbo and a Camaro or Corvette or something. Frosted purple, yeah, it'd be. I wonder how they do that. Is the polycarbonate? Like, how do they get that clear purple material? I've seen things like that, but I've never done any polycarbonate designs myself. So I've been looking at polycarbonate that is like clear as glass. They finish it with like an oil, and it fills in all the gaps. It makes it like crystal clear. I'm not allowed in the circles where the keyboard community has tried to cancel me. So I'm banned from every Discord, every website, every forum, every Reddit subreddit. So I don't know like how to follow what shows products are, other than people bringing them up to me. His Blurple SRX. I don't even know how to like follow him. But yeah, no, the SRX build is amazing. It feels so. It's the only aftermarket case that makes it feel better. You know, you can't really get away with throwing an R1 Realforce into a top-mounted case the way that the Norbaforce is mounted and get a good feel out of it. It's only mounted in each four corners, and there's really not a lot of engagement from the threads, like from the screws, for whatever reason. Maybe for compatibility with an R2, I'm not sure. But the drum's only way worse. About this time last year, October, yeah, they started like a hate thread on me and just kept it going. And then they called me a homophobe because I came across Norbauer's podcast where he talks about keyboards and how him and his two husbands like to have sex with other men, and that it's a good thing. And I said, okay, don't talk about sex and keyboards. And I was immediately labeled a homophobe by a person who turns out to be gay and also works for Norbauer. So putting two and two together, I'm guessing he has sexual intercourse with Norbauer, and he led a hate mob against me. Burned my Urushi keycaps in effigy, and took a photo and took a video and posted it everywhere. Fucking asshole, you know. I hate talking about this. I hate talking about them. They ain't nobody, you know. They're a bunch of fucking... They got perverse ways. I mean, that they're just perverse, dude. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Then I get the occasional person who comes in and tries to stir up shit. Oh, what's up, Jeremy? Yeah, dude. That that Casper Clear, I don't know where you came across that, but that Casper Clear is stupid. It's like magic, man. It turns everything into like... I have no idea how it works, because all these other like matte clear coats kind of fuck up the color. So I ordered the Casper Clear color swatches. So what they give you is the color, and then without the Casper Clear, and then a swatch with the Casper Clear. And they've got like 50 colors, and so 100 swatches. It's nutty. But you know, that means it's a two-step process. So I'm paying a lot. The guy who paints my board painted Crazy Customs, painted all of Mode's keyboards, Mode Designs keyboards. I was up there one day, and he said, "Oh, I totally forgot about this, but check this out." And he had a keyboard, and he's not a keyboard guy at all. I mean, you know, I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, I don't know, mod something or other." Like Mode Designs? He's like, "Yeah, I painted all the keyboards." Damn, bro. I wonder how much those keyboards cost, because I mean, it costs more to get a keyboard painted from him than it does to get manufactured and anodized over in China. But I guess if you I don't know how many keyboards Mode Design sells. Maybe it's all about like having 200 keyboards. But he handed it to me and said, people are passionate about different coatings. Some people hate powder coating. People who paint hate powder coating because it comes out like textured. But then there's people who love powder coating. Norbauer used to use powder coating as a premium example of a keyboard finish. But then he's also used anodizing as his premium keyboard finish. How? Well, you do it about 3 to 4 years apart. So, or maybe 6 years apart. But he didn't say his anodizing was more premium until he made the HG, the Happy Acting Keyboard HG shells and anodizing and charged more. I was like, you motherfucker. Last time it was powder coating that was premium and cost more. Now it's anodizing's premium and cost more. Make up your mind. But he's got the saying in the watch business goes is always raise prices. Well, he's got this down pat. I don't pay attention, but he always comes out with some thing on Black Friday or around Christmas where he basically condemns consumerism while at the same time pushing forced scarcity and FOMO on his boards that he's raised prices continuously on while not addressing quality issues at all. I mean, people will buy what they want, but when you're so openly like anti-consumerism in your message, what's the word? He basically last year he snubbed his nose at like the idea of having a sale. Yet he sent an email about it. And then he was in the same breath he also condemned forced scarcity, which he is the goddamn king of. A lot of people have caught on that he finds boards all the time. Yeah, duh. A lot of people are upset that he said he did a final sale, like I'm going out of business, like never making these boards again. He did that 2 years ago, and he was selling things that he labeled as like C stock or D stock. I don't even know what that would mean, considering he sells his boards as A stock and they look like they don't necessarily come in perfect. So I have no idea what a C stock or D stock Norbaforce is, but he went through a sale saying this is his going out of business bazaar. And now he's back full time. So this guy is just the fucking biggest goddamn hypocrite when it comes to how he runs his business. And he's personally been a prick to me, so. Yeah, it is a meme. He's a meme. How many people do you think bought his $3,600 Sanaka? I say 10 at the most. Sold out. Imagine paying $3,500 for a Topre board. That's all it is. It's like he wanted to make his own Topre board. $3,500, please. What, is it made out of fucking gold? Do you have like watch-driven timing mechanisms built into it? Is this Swiss made? Am I getting an Omega? Like, am I getting a Seamaster? Am I getting a Rolex? Submariner? What's going on here? Why is this keyboard so expensive? Am I going to be able to turn this into a profit 50 years from now? Whatever. It's not my money. I wouldn't even be trashing him if he wasn't such a smug asshole about his products that have actual issues sometimes. He's so butthurt about the first heavy grail I built, that he straight up pretended like I didn't exist, like he didn't know who I was, and then he went on to complain about it on his keyboard forum. And now he won't talk to me. And now Teja pretends I don't exist, and he took a fucking jab at me too. It's like, you guys are such fucking pricks, man. I don't know what this little cult of personality is that you got going on here, but it's driven by the wrong. It's not driven by keyboards. Oh no, I didn't adore his keyboard. That was the issue. There was no issues with it. It's just that I simply was too simple-minded to adore it. Okay. Anyway, enough bashing. I wish I could get through a stream without mentioning these clowns, but it seems like right now their goal is to make my life as difficult as possible. I think that they're just mad that Trump won. That's really what I think. So before we do that, let's just be as American as possible, because that would really make them mad. Oh yeah, I can't type. Damn. That's right, baby. America! Trump, Elon Musk 2024. JD Vance 2024. Suck on that. Sorry for anyone who voted for Kamala, but it's just the entirety of the people who hate me are just totally obsessed with trans politics and not keyboards. So I can only imagine how fucking furious they are. Oh. Just, it's the only satisfaction I get, is thinking about how mad they are. Alrighty, guys.